We are back, and officially UFC 249 is happening Saturday. It is going down, guys. Finally, this card is going to be happening in Jacksonville, Florida. Of course, Florida of all places, right? If something's going to happen like this, you know Florida is going to be the first ones to step up. It was supposed to happen April 18th. It didn't. We all know the Khabib-Ferguson fight is not happening. Justin Gaethje is stepping in, and a great opponent. Should be a hell of a fight. We'll go over that shortly. I'm going to give you guys an overall look on this card. I think it's more of a card for parlays, guys. I do like a lot of the favorites here, but they are just a bit high. Personally, I told you guys before, I do like betting on favorites in UFC up to, minus 180. I've laid, minus 150, 170, 175 if I really like the fight. And that's how UFC betting is. If you guys don't bet UFC much, you do have to lay it down sometimes on favorites and hit the juice. If you totally are against doing that, just put it in a 2-fight parlay. I'll be giving you guys some parlays, 2-fight parlays a little later on here in the video. And going over a couple plays that I like, along with some value plays as well. Yeah, like I said, not too excited about the card from a betting point of view, but obviously the card is stacked, guys. We're getting a treat here. Very excited for this card. We are going to start off here, obviously, with the main fight, Ferguson and Gaethje. Ferguson opened up at 188. Moved up to 200 on some books. This was back before on April 18th when the fight was supposed to happen. Now you can get Ferguson at 175. I've seen it at 170 as well, so shop around for best number. If you are on Ferguson, I say wait. I think some money will get on Gaethje late, so you may want to get Ferguson, on Saturday. I don't think it's going to go too higher than 180, so I'm going to jump on the 175. But if you want a value bet and you guys don't like to lay the juice, take a look at the KO, TKO, or submission at minus 120. I do not see this very violent fight getting to 5 rounds, guys. Remember, it's a main event. It's for the interim title, which means there is going to be 5 rounds. Now, this is going to be a violence, and more violence type of fight. Very exciting fight, I predict here. Sure, it may not go 5 rounds, but I can see this going at least 2, 3, up to 4 rounds. We all know Tony here on the 12-fight win streak. Last loss was in 2012, guys, and still hasn't been knocked out. We all know Justin wins his fights by knocking the other guy out. Justin won't be going 5 rounds in this fight, I can tell you that much. It will end in a KO or submission, in my opinion. But, no one's going to be laying the minus 500, 550 on no. It won't go to the distance. So we're going to try to find some other value here. The last time Justin fought in a decision fight, guys, was in 2015, and that was in a 3-round fight. We all know this is a 5-round fight. Justin also, out of his 23 professional fights, has only 2 decisions. So like I said, he looks for that knockout. I do kind of agree with Tony how he is one-dimensional and just looks for that power punch, but he can wrestle as well. I don't know if he'll go down to the ground to fight Tony on the ground just because of his submission expertise. But yeah, I just wish it was a better line, to be honest, guys. I am going to lay the minus 175. That's me personally. I do really like Tony here. I just wish it was maybe, 160, 150, just because, Justin did have some more time now for the training camp, and he does have a chance in this fight. Me personally, I think he has about a 25-30% chance in this fight. He would have to knock out Tony Ferguson, though. That's what I'm trying to say here. So I think the odds are for Tony not to get knocked out. He does have, obviously, the longer training camp, is going to be in the better shape out of the two. And I do think he is a smarter fighter here. So let's go with Tony Ferguson. KO, TKO, or submission minus 120. And then me personally, I am going to have a play on the minus 175 Ferguson. Like I said, if you guys don't like laying that, don't, but maybe put it in a parlay. Next fight here.
We got Carla Esperanza versus the Karate Hottie, Michelle Waterson.
Next fight here, guys, is Carla Esperanza versus Waterson, the Karate Hottie. I like Esperanza here to win this fight. Just not loving the price again at minus 150. I am going to lay the minus 150 here, just a small play on that. But I think the value here is at plus 100 to win by decision. Okay, so plus 100 to win by decision. I just see this fight being somewhat a boring one where Carla controls Waterson on the ground. I think it's going to be one of those fights. Waterson is not great on the ground, guys. She has improved a bit, but Waterson gets taken down in most of her fights, even versus like opponents that aren't known for it. So I look for Waterson to struggle here with Carla just controlling and exploiting Michelle on the ground to win this fight in a decision. No value here on the decision or for it to go to the distance. So we're just going to take the value. The only value I can find is the plus 100 for Carla to win by decision. So last 5 fights, guys, just a quick stat here. Last 5 fights for Michelle all went to decision, and Carla 4 out of the last have went to decision. So just play the odds. Vegas agrees with me as well. So we're going to be on Carla here. To win the fight, me personally, I'm at minus 150, and the value play at plus 100 to win by decision. Next fight up here, Bryce Mitchell, one of the young upcoming fighters, very exciting to watch, versus Charles. I like Mitchell here, minus 160, but the value play would be the plus 162 by decision. I think this is going to be a good fight. I think there's good value at the plus 162 for it to go to decision. I like Mitchell here a lot. I do think he is the better fighter on the ground. And the feet, I think it's a toss-up. You may want to give it to Rosa, slight edge. However, he lacks power to threaten any KOs here. So that's why I do like it going to the decision with Mitchell slightly taking this. It's going to be a close fight. But when I see a plus 162 value, I'll jump on it. I will have a slight play on the 160 as well. And also be throwing it in a parlay or two. Like I said, guys, look at the parlays if you don't want to lay the juice. Parlay a couple together. I'll give you a couple parlays that I like coming up. But yeah, the odds are favored here. The fight goes the distance. I agree with that. So if you're giving me the favorite, Mitchell plus 162, I'm jumping all over it. Coming off that huge twister win. That was crazy. You guys probably seen it here. You can see it in the video. And I do think he's just gonna ride that momentum and beat Rosa here. Similar style, like I said, they both have a lot of submission victories, but I do think Mitchell will prevail. You could see him maybe pull off a submission, but I do think the decision is the right play. I'll leave you guys here with a couple parlays. I'm going to leave you with a plus money parlay and a 2-fight parlay. So you guys can decide what you want to jump on. If you want to jump on both, go for it. And I'll also end this video with my favorite dog play on the board. 2-fight parlay, we're going to go with the co-main event, Henry Cejudo, minus 225. Don't like it at minus 225. I just think he's going to win this fight. Long layoff for Cruz will catch up to him here. Henry will show that he is the real deal. People still doubt him somehow. So I do think he'll get this win. Could go decision, but I could even see Henry finishing the fight maybe in the 3rd or 4th round. And I'm going to parlay it with Vicente Luque minus 250. So if you parlay those two together, you're going to get around even money, 105, minus 105. So I do think Luque beats him for the 2nd time. Should be an entertaining fight. So Price probably going to be looking for a knockout. I do think Luque is going to realize that, sit back, beat him up with leg kicks like he did in the first one, and become victorious in this one. Get back on track coming off that tough loss against Thompson. Here's a plus money parlay for you guys. We're gonna jump on Calvin Kattar. I think he's a more polished fighter here. He should get the victory with his boxing against, and I'm gonna parlay it with Pettis, guys. Pettis minus 130. I personally just think Cowboy's just playing for checks right now. I do think it may be his last fight as well. I don't love it, but in a parlay, I'm getting at plus 135, plus 133. I'm going to jump all over that. So Kattar and Pettis, you're going to get that at plus 135. I'll leave you guys with my favorite dog play on the board. It's going to be a plus 170 dog in De Castro. I think this fight's pretty much even with Hardy. We haven't seen too much from both of these guys. De Castro is coming off a big knockout, however. We all know Hardy, his issues in the cage. He is coming off a tough loss against a Russian. But yeah, I do think De Castro has great value. That's a good line, plus 170, guys. So I'll be laying a small play on the plus 170 on De Castro. I don't love the play. It's just a value play. Obviously, I can see a path, obviously, for Hardy to win this and maybe a decision or a late round victory. But he technically doesn't have really knockout power. So if I do think he wins because of his athleticism. That will carry him to victory here. So, just a dog play, small play, caught my eye, plus 170. I think it should be more plus 140, plus 135. So I do like that value at plus 170 that I got it at. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you just with this. I do think it's obviously an outstanding card, one of the better cards, very violent card, a lot of good fights, good matchups here. I just personally... a lot of juice on the plays here, so just got to try to find some value, and don't be shy with the two fight parlays this time around. Hopefully we can continue to give you guys plays and winning plays like I have been, and let's enjoy this card. We got there's going to be 2 more cards in May. I think they're just going to be fight night cards, not obviously pay-per-view, so I will be posting either a short video or my plays on Twitter. But let's cash in, guys. Let's get back on track. Let's get some winning plays for everybody. And like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.